Alright, good morning. I'm going to show you how to set up some QC. So here's all our tube reagents. So you have your anti-A, anti-B, and your reagent A1 cells, your B cells, your anti-D. And in the back is our anti-A, B. We don't usually use that unless we're retyping units. Your RH control, we typically will use this on things like cord bloods, anything that we're questioning pan-agglutination, and screen cell 1, screen cell 2, screen cell 3, and here, to make it confusing, this manufacturer makes a green anti-IgG and a green polyspecific, so you can see we noted polyspecific on the top. And then we have, this is our lists, our potentiating agent. We have to write this on here because they come in large bottles and that don't fit in our rack. And our Coombs cell, or our IgG coded check cells. And over here is our QC rack, if you will. So QC cell 1, QC cell 2, and then our positive antibody. We use saline for our negative and for the screen. And then here's our anti-C3b, C3d, so this is our complement detection. And here's our complement C3 coded check cells. Always a smaller bottle. We don't use these as often. We do these when we're doing DAPs. So when you look over, I set up the tubes already. One of the things that you want to look at, QC can be really scary in tube when you first look at it, but you want to make sure that you label everything clearly. So this is cell 1A, so that'll be your anti-A, and then I use A cells to denote if I'm doing a back type, or screen cells will look like just antibody and 1, so that would be our positive control, and then negative. So right here I have all A, B, A comma B, and D for both cell 1 and cell 2, and then an RH control as well, just on 1, just so we can get that control cell. And then our negative for our A and B cells, positive for A and B cells, and positive antibody screen, negative antibody screen. And then we move over here for DATs. We'll actually check the polyspecific, the anti-AHG or polyspecific, anti-IgG, and saline control for our IgG coded cells. We will use polyspecific for our complement, anti-complement, and we will do the same for uncoated cells. So that would, we would just choose like an A cell or something like that. We here do not do differential QC unless we get a positive polyspecific. So this is just the QC to check our reagents and confirm that. So when we go and set it up, we're going to make sure we mix. Always make sure open an initial on the bottles. That's important. Cap will ding you for that. And you want to mix well and open up. I'm working with one hand here, so this is our cell 1. So I'm going to take the cell 1 and do 1 drop into each of the cell 1 tubes. And you won't want to touch it because it'll, especially around winter time, when it starts getting colder and you're using the heat, it'll really create a problem. So then I'll show you the first row of QC, where you just take your anti-A reagent, 1 drop, close it up, make sure that you close it up real tight. Another thing that we want to make sure that you use is when you have saline prepared, you want to never ever pipette into a unlabeled anything, anywhere in the lab. Never transfer a fluid that's unlabeled. So as you can see, saline, date, and my initials, and I'll toss this at the end of my shift, or sometimes I randomly toss it anyway. So that's that in a nutshell, and then I'll show you how to read some reactions, and I'll give you a copy of this QC sheet as well, so you can kind of take a peek at it. Okay?